Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just another tinfoil hat. Welcome to my monthly book review. This month, I'm going to be discussing one of my all-time favorite UFO books, Jacques Vallee's iconic work, Passport to Magonia, From Folklore to Flying Saucers. So I figured this was kind of a timely review as, right now with all the disclosure business going on, I kind of see UFO belief trending and solidifying yet again into that of technologically advanced beings, which first engaged with us as we entered the atomic age. Of course, probably evident through my videos, I don't subscribe to that theory. Passport to Magonia provides, including the appendix, quite literally hundreds of cases which show that the UFO phenomenon is not new. We simply kind of come up with new ideas about it and new ways of looking at it. Truth be told, it's actually kind of difficult for me to know where to start with this because I absolutely love this book so much. Originally published in 1969, the tagline From Folklore to Flying Saucers is pretty self-explanatory. This is truly the book which was responsible for kind of tying together older folkloric beliefs, especially the fairy faith, to the modern UFO phenomenon. So this book is so high up on the top of my list for many reasons, but one of the biggest is that Vallee included many cases which were, in Fort's sense of the word, damned, excluded from the ufological fields for being too weird. And of course, the UFO problem is large and has been excluded from the scientific fields for being too weird. So whenever you have the fringe saying, that's too fringe for us, it's just a major bummer. I mean, in this one, of course, one of my favorite cases, the Simonton encounter, is given a lot of time and attention. So I was just, as soon as I saw that, I was absolutely thrilled. So throughout the book, too, Vallee consistently shows the patterns which exist between these old accounts of the fairies and religious apparitions and even occult figures, and these new accounts of UFO occupants, and that these themes have remained the same as the trimmings have changed. Now, again, I've mentioned this concept quite often, but it really warrants inclusion here. People are very comfortable looking at these threads and saying, well, maybe UFOs and the occupants have been around longer than we thought, but now we're closer to the truth. Passport to Magonia kind of turns that on its head and shows that the truth of the phenomenon is evasive, garbed in the belief of the times. And in a sense, I feel as though people understood the functionality of whatever this actually is better when they termed it fairies than we do today terming it UFO occupants. Passport to Magonia also contains many of Vallee's dominant themes which show up throughout his research, namely that some great unknown force has always been at work in the larger schemes of human life, masquerading as religious, occult, alien, and folkloric phenomena. And again, this book is, like I said a million times now, not just one of my favorites, but also one of my most referenced works. You can probably tell it's getting a little bit curled and dog-eared from going through it so many times. I mean, in addition to the actual book, the appendix titled A Century of UFO Landings contains nearly 1,000 reports. It is absolutely invaluable for quick reference. And a quick note on the cover art for the 2014 edition, which was done by Chris Butler. I absolutely love this. I mean, as you can see, there's the classic gray alien, which is holding a variety of different masks. And I would say what a better way to represent the multifaceted nature of the phenomenon. But as a matter of fact, there is a better way to represent the multifaceted nature of the phenomenon, and that is the original image of this, which also included this dark, shadowy, vaguely arm-like thing that was in turn kind of controlling the gray. It's just so evocative of the concept that, regarding the unexplained, we may never see the man behind the curtain. We may just keep running into curtains. The thing is that research-wise, this book is an absolute dream. I mean, the references are fantastic, the appendix is fantastic, and of course the way that Vallee handles this material, I mean, it's in a very logical and rational manner. But on the flip side to that, there's something which, on a personal level, this book was deeply moving for me because it kind of deals with that concept of, when I started researching the paranormal when I was a kid, I devoutly believed that this is something that could be proven in a factual manner. And as I've been involved with this field for so long, I'm not so sure about that anymore. I'm not sure if there will ever be a great unmasking, like at the end of a Scooby-Doo episode, or if this is something which will always kind of remain nebulous and vague. And that isn't to say that there isn't a truth in it. I just don't know what the facts are with that. And Passport to Magonia really summed that up incredibly well for me. So that's one of the reasons too that, yeah, on the research side of things, it's a fantastic book, but also on a personal level, I thoroughly enjoyed reading it. And so to conclude this review, I thought that I would end with the poem by William Allingham, which Vallee included at the end of Chapter 2, The Good People, as a tribute to Joe Simonton. Up the airy mountains, down the rushy glen, we daren't go a-hunting for fear of little men. We folk, good folk, trooping all together, green jacket, red cap, and white owl's feather. Down along the rocky shore some make their home. They live on crispy pancakes of yellow tide foam. Some in the reeds of the Black Mountain Lake, with frogs for their watchdogs, all night awake. Well, if you enjoyed this book review of Jacques Vallee's masterful Passport to Magonia, please like, and if you're new to this field of crop circles, go ahead and subscribe to see what weirdness the future may have in store. Till then, you can keep up with whatever else I might possibly be doing on my website, justanothertinfoilhat.com, and for exclusive content, make sure to check out my Patreon page, which is also listed under Just Another Tinfoil Hat. For today, I am Zelia Edgar, signing off.
Doing.